The Nigerian Civil War, also known as the Biafran War, was a major conflict that took place between 1967 and 1970 in Nigeria. The war was fought between the government of Nigeria, led by General Yakubu Gowon, and the Republic of Biafra, led by Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. The conflict began as a struggle for political and economic control within Nigeria, but quickly escalated into a full-blown armed conflict with devastating consequences for the Nigerian people. The root cause of the Nigerian Civil War can be traced back to the political, ethnic, and religious tensions that existed in the country. In the years leading up to the Civil War, the country experienced a series of political crises. One of the main factors contributing to the conflict was the perceived marginalization of the Igbo people, who predominantly inhabited the southeastern region of Nigeria, known as Biafra. The Igbos felt that they were underrepresented in the federal government and that their interests were not being adequately protected. The immediate cause of the war was the declaration of the Republic of Biafra by General Ojukwu in response to the military coup that overthrew the government of Prime Minister Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. The coup was led by General Johnson Agi Ironsi, an Igbo military officer who sought to consolidate power in his hands and abolish regional distinctions. This move was seen by the House of Fulani majority as a threat to their dominance and led to a series of ethnic clashes known as the Pogrom of 1966, during which thousands of Igbos were killed in the northern part of the country. In response to the crisis, General Ironsi imposed a unitary system of government, which further fueled tensions between the various ethnic groups. In May 1967, General Gowon, a House of Fulani officer, overthrew Ironsi and reinstated the federal system of government. However, the Igbos felt that their concerns were not being addressed and, on May 30, 1967, Biafra declared its independence from Nigeria. The Nigerian government vehemently opposed the secession of Biafra and sought to maintain the territorial integrity of Nigeria. This led to a protracted armed conflict that lasted for 30 months. The war was characterized by significant human rights abuses, including widespread starvation, massacres, and the use of chemical weapons. The conflict was fought on multiple fronts, with both sides suffering heavy casualties. The Nigerian military, supported by troops from other West African countries, sought to reclaim the territory of Biafra. The Biafran forces, with limited resources and international support, struggled to defend their territories. The war resulted in the death of an estimated 1 to 3 million people, the majority of whom were civilians. The international community was divided in its response to the war. While some countries, such as the United States, the United Kingdom, and France, recognized the Nigerian government and provided military and economic assistance, others, like the Soviet Union and Zambia, supported Biafra's cause. The United Nations played a critical role in attempting to mediate the conflict and provide humanitarian aid to the affected civilians. The Nigerian government, under General Gowon, implemented a scorched earth policy to starve Biafra into submission. This strategy led to the widespread suffering of civilians, particularly children, who were affected by malnutrition and disease. The images of starving Biafran children, popularly referred to as Biafran orphans, became a symbol of the horrors of the conflict and brought international attention to the plight of the Biafran people. The Nigerian Civil War ended on January 15, 1970, when Biafran forces surrendered to the Nigerian government. The war had been a traumatic experience for the Nigerian people, and it left deep scars on the nation's psyche. The aftermath of the conflict saw a period of reconstruction and reconciliation, as well as efforts to address the underlying political, ethnic, and religious tensions that had contributed to the conflict in the first place. In the years since the end of the Nigerian Civil War, Nigeria has made significant progress in terms of political stability and economic development. The country has become one of the largest economies in Africa, and it has made strides in areas such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. However, The legacy of the Civil War continues to shape Nigeria's political landscape, and the nation still grapples with issues of ethnic and religious tensions, as well as questions of regional inequality and underdevelopment.